Hello, my name is Dr. Chibunna Nwaobia, and I am here to discuss the authentic leader in you, how to bring out your best in every situation. You know, some people today are struggling with authentic leadership. We are just going to go through them one by one and see how you can be an authentic leader and how you can use it to bless your followers or to bless your organization. The first thing we're going to talk about is that you are born to lead. You are born to lead. How can you remember, or can you remember when you first made a decision for yourself? What was the decision? Do you still make decisions today? How many things in your life are you making decisions for? What makes you think that leadership is not for you? Or what makes you think that when you are making those decisions, you are not leading your thoughts? These questions will help you to understand that you are born to lead. Because some people normally say, oh, I just want to walk and go home. I just don't want to be a leader. I just don't want to get into leadership, or I just don't want to get into politics of leadership. Yes, but if you have made decisions before, or you are still making decisions today, either for yourself or for someone else, then that means that you are a leader. Leadership is a way of life. I keep telling people that leadership is a way of life. And what do I mean by that? Is the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we move, the way we make decisions. And I always encourage people to embrace leadership, because guess what? If you don't lead, someone else will lead you. That is very important. And that person might lead you in a way that you don't like, or in a way that it will not favor you or favor the people you are representing. So the better you get into leadership, the earlier you get into leadership, the better for you. Now we are going to look at the viewpoints of authentic leadership. Number one is the one that we call intrapersonal perspective. This incorporates the leader's self-knowledge, self-regulation, and self-concept. This is what goes on within the leader, their life experiences, and how they can lead with conviction. The second one here is the interpersonal process. This is when the leader is relational, and it is generated by both leaders and followers. And these relationships between leaders and followers give rise to the interpersonal process, because leaders influence followers and followers also influence leaders. So this is what we call a reciprocal process. The third one here is from the developmental perspective, because sometimes the authentic leaders, rather than being a secret, is seen as something that can be fostered in a leader. Authentic leadership emerges during the course of a person's life and can be sparked by significant life events. By that, I mean, serious illness or the start of a new job. Some people have some stories that, hey, I started, getting into leadership when I was in the hospital, and I saw how they treated me or how they treated my loved ones. And I said, no, this is not how it is. I'm going to start my own business, or I'm going to start something, or I'm going to get into leadership to change things. So that one is, from the developmental perspective. So now that you know those, how do you lead? The first one here is to know yourself. Authentic leaders are aware of their own values and act in accordance with them. Some people are leaders today, but they're not aware of their environment. They are not aware of their own values. Even in difficult situations, do not compromise your values, but rather use those situations to strengthen those values. Know who you are. Have a baseline. Have a character suitable for all your conducts. That's how to lead. The second point here is to be real and true to yourself, because authentic leaders could connect with people by allowing themselves to be vulnerable. Vulnerable leadership. They are willing to tell their own stories and listen to the stories of others. Leaders on followers establish a sense of trust and closeness through mutual disclosure. This is very, very, very important. You have to be vulnerable with your followers. You also have to identify that one thing that makes you different from others, because authentic leaders have a strong sense of purpose. They understand what they are doing and why they are doing those things. Authentic leaders are also inspired and naturally motivated about their own goals. You have to know your goals. You have to know your end goals. You have to be naturally motivated. And in addition to recognizing their purpose, they are also zealous individuals that are deeply invested in what they do and genuinely care about their work. Very, very important. Be self-disciplined. If you want to be an authentic leader, you have to make self-discipline your watchword. Know your baseline and know your limits. Self-discipline helps leaders to reach their goals and to keep everyone accountable. If you don't keep people accountable, how can you be a leader? You also have to keep yourself accountable. That is how to lead. What that means is that you have to say what you mean and mean what you say. So let's go to how to be ready to lead. We call this one readiness. People jump into leadership when they are not ready. Probably they grew into it, or someone say, hey, come and lead. You're going to be a good leader. But they were not prepared. For you to be an authentic leader, you have to be prepared. You have to be ready. And I have identified three readiness, that you can be. Number one is physical readiness. And this physical readiness is your appearance, your ability to lead. Look is everything. How do you walk? How do you dress? How do you talk? How do you connect with people? Physically, are you ready? The second one is emotional. Your actions is very, very, very vital. So those actions that you take, how do you communicate with others? How do you take on others on your wings and move on? Is it when somebody throws something at you, you'll be angry and say, hey, I'm not going to walk again? Or is it when someone throws something at you, criticisms, and you just take it against those people? You have to be emotionally ready, knowing fully well that you are going to, serve others. That's what I call being an authentic leader, ability to serve others. Another one is spiritual centeredness. Like, um, do you have that spiritual capacity to take on the task? So many people have fragile hearts. For you to be an authentic leader, you have to know something that will be driving you. You have to, have some positive affirmations that, have that capacity to take on the task. It is very important. So for you to be an authentic leader, you have to be ready to lead. You have to be ready, and you have to examine your physical readiness. You have to examine your emotional readiness, and you also have to examine your spiritual readiness. Get ahead of the game. Now that you have already known how to lead, so you have to get ahead of the game. Number one thing here is to sacrifice. Be willing to sacrifice your time, your money, and all your energy. I see so many people today, even internship, they want paid internship. They very difficult for you or for them to sacrifice even 1 hour. How can you be an authentic leader? How can you stay ahead of the game if you are not willing to teach others? If you are not willing to invest your time, even if it is little money, whatever it takes, you have to be able to make a sacrifice. And those sacrifices will be the things that will take you to the next level. The second point here is you have to build strong alliance with your colleagues and other team members. I always say this, if you are going up, you want to lead. What goes up must come down according to a lot of physics. So as you are trying to lead, as you are trying to get to the apex of your career, make sure that you are building strong alliance with your colleagues and team members. Carry them along. The third point here is to remain relevant. As an authentic leader and someone that wants to grow, you have to remain relevant. For example, attend conferences or learn new skills to keep yourself updated. Yes, you cannot just remain where you were 10 years ago or 15 years ago. You need to remain relevant. You need to keep moving. You need to keep changing things, keep learning. You know, that will make you ahead of the game. And the other one I usually teach my students is to be indispensable. Be indispensable. Be so good at what you do that no one will be able to replace you. Yes, we often hear the word, nobody is dispensable. Nobody is indispensable. Nobody is indispensable. Yes, but to stay ahead of the game, you have to train yourself to be what? Indispensable. And for you to be indispensable, you have to be intentional. We talk about intentionality a lot in leadership. And what does that mean? Like I've said before, you have to have a character that is suitable for all your conducts. You have to always have an end goal. Why are you leading? Why are you doing what you're doing today? What is your end goal? If you know your end goal, then you have to lead with intent. You know how to drive your team to what you want to do. Very important. So that is how to be indispensable. Stay ahead of the game, be intentional, carry people along, have baseline for all your conduct. It is very, very important. Authentic leaders at work, like how authentic leaders work. Number one is that authentic leaders are effective when they reflect purpose, when they are relational, self-disciplined, compassionate, and value-centered behaviors. Authentic leaders also when leaders rely on the characteristics of authentic leadership for lifelong learning. So people should be able to rely on you, to rely on the characteristics that you exhibit in order for them to grow. That's what, that's how to put your, authentic leadership at work. Very important. Another one is that authentic leaders develop trustworthy and beliefs of followers for individual development and as well as serving the community. You have to make sure that your followers develop trust and believe in you while you also believe in them. And again, organizations use authentic leaders to develop employee creativity, optimism, trust, and work engagement. Very important. If you're an authentic leader, the organizations want you. They want to use you to encourage others. And again, followers also develop psychological ownership of their organizations with authentic leadership in place. How do you lead today? How do you empower your followers to be authentic, to see that you are a servant leader, you are a transparent leader, you are an authentic leader, that you are vulnerable, ability to stay with them, hang out with them, okay? Tell them what you want to do ahead of time and also do it when the time comes. Okay, that is very, very important. So another thing here is your greatest strength. Your greatest strength as a leader, okay? You also need to satisfy the identified needs to build trusting relationship in the society and also offers guidelines for individuals seeking authentic leadership traits. Yes, those guidelines, people should look at your character. People should look at what you have put together, okay? To be just like a guideline for people that want to be like you. It also provides experience for upcoming leaders, learning from experience. Let me just tell you, if you're leading from your heart, everybody knows that you're an authentic leader and they want to learn from you. It also has a clear moral dimension that defines what is right and good for those who follow it. Then another one is that it develops beliefs and practices that promote optimism, resilience, hope, and confidence in a workplace. Now that you have known all those things, how do you become authentic? How do you become authentic? Number one, you have to develop the willingness to take risk. willingness to take risks. What do I mean by that? Yes, sometimes your organization might not like it that you're authentic, but hey, you have to take the risk. You have to take your stand. Remember, you have to develop a character that is suitable for all your conduct. You also need to have the ability to start something new and sustain it. If you want to be an authentic leader, yes, when you have ability to start something new, you have to sustain it. Remember, as an authentic leader, you have an end goal. And as long as you have that end goal, you do not allow anything to stop you from getting to your end results. Be comfortable with criticisms. Authentic leaders are vulnerable leaders. They are very comfortable with criticisms, feedbacks, and make corrections where necessary. And authentic leaders are not those leaders that when you correct them, they become offended. No, you have to be open. You have to, have an open door policy. That is very important. Again, you have to be disciplined, but firm and have decision-making capacities. You have to be disciplined, firm, and have decision-making capacities. What does that mean? That you relate with everyone, that you relate with your staff, you tell them what you want to do before you do it, you come back to them, even if it doesn't work, you come back and say, hey, this doesn't work, let's look for another, strategy. Does not mean that you're not going to be firm. You know where you are, you know what you want to implement, you be firm. You don't let things slide. You make sure that that end goal is achieved. And the other one, I can not overemphasize this, you have to be intentional and communicate effectively. That is very important. You have to be intentional and communicate effectively. So be that authentic leader. How do you become that authentic leader? Number one thing here is to be a giver and not a user. I always use this a lot. Be a giver and not just a user. Give, give advice, help, offer some things to your staff, okay? Advice, offer help. Don't be that leader that stays only in the office. Don't be that leader that doesn't include others. Don't just use your staff, work with them. Don't just let things happen. Rather, make things happen. Again, do not use your position to intimidate your followers. We see this a lot, a lot. Oftentimes these leaders that are intimidating their followers, they don't even know because they don't know how to lead. They just feel that leadership is by intimidating others. But today, to be an authentic leader, you have to have free mind. You have to work with people. You have to have open door policies. You have to welcome criticisms. You should not use your position to intimidate your followers. Rather, you have to use your position to be a blessing to your followers. Be aware of your environment and carry all your team members along. Be aware of your environment. Even if it is the EVS, even if it is the security, some people have leadership in them. They can make contributions that can save you millions of dollars in the hospital or wherever you work as a leader. But if you're not aware of these followers, how can you make it? But once they know that you carry them along, once they know that you are aware of who they are and you give them, also you carry them along, so they can help you out a lot. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Be very transparent with your leadership team, with your followers. Be very transparent. What I mean by that is share the vision of the organization wherever you're leading. Share the vision with them. Tell them what you want to achieve in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, in 1 year, in 5 years, and follow it through. Very transparent. That you share your vision does not mean that you're going to achieve all. But let's say something happens. For example, pandemic happened in 2020. You can still go back to them and say, yes, we plan to do this in 3 months, in 6 months, in 1 year, but there are other circumstances that were beyond your control. Then you go back to them and tell them. And they know that. Nothing hurts followers or team members as when a leader comes to them with something and they see that happening or not happening and they don't get feedback. Check it out today. If your director or your boss promises you something or promises your team something and didn't come to fulfill it or did not come back for feedback, you see how you feel? That is very important. Again, minus your leadership title, you become just like followers. That title is just a title. Everybody, all of you, you and the followers are the same. Only that someone just have to lead. I'm just going to say it again. You were once a follower before you got that title. Whatever that title is, CEO, COO, director, vice president, minus that title, who are you? You are just that title. That's what differentiates you from other followers. There might be so many followers that have experience, even more than you, in the same organization, but just that you have that title. So always know that a good leader is also a good follower. You cannot lead yourself alone. You have to have other people. So if you are not a good follower, it will be very difficult for you to be a good leader. Know where you started and do not betray your humble beginning. So many people today have betrayed their humble beginning. They just get on top and they forget everything that happened when they were growing or when they were going up. As an authentic leader, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be true to your organization. You have to be true even to the position that you are into. Don't betray your humble beginning. So many people, so many leaders today, once they get to a position of authority, they forget those that started with them, or they even forget where they started from. It might be a CNA. It might be, retail assistant. But once you get to that managerial position, please don't forget where you started. And that will help you to remain humble. And when you are leading others, you know that you were there. There's nobody that can just get into wherever they are today and become a leader. No, you must have to stay and learn. Learning is very important. So listen as a leader and learn. You can listen with your five senses. I always say this, listen with your five senses. Your eyes, your nose, your sense of touch, whatever it is. If you're not listening with your eyes, your mouth, if you're not listening with your nose, with your ears, whatever it is, you are not, there's no way you can understand the needs of your followers. The last point I have here, give other upcoming leaders a chance. Someone else did it for you. When you get to your position, do not block the road. Do not block, okay, others from getting to their position, okay? Do not be a reason why followers will be crying. Rather, be a reason why they will be smiling. When you see leadership opportunities, please give other leaders a chance. You cannot be jack of all trades. You cannot do everything. Just delegate and let people be who they are. Give other people opportunities and let them come to you and report. Do not micromanage people. Very important. For you to be an authentic leader, people, we have already said it, your followers should see how transparent you are. They should be able to own the organization the same way you own it. They should be able to own that mission and vision the same way you own it. They should see from the same lens. That is how everyone's going to work together as a team. Very important. lest I forget, together, we will leave our organization better than we met it. That is the end goal. As an authentic leader, you cannot leave the organization the same way you met it. And for you to do that, you have to carry people along. They have to see the same vision. If you don't have a vision, guess what's going to happen? Your followers will not have anything to work with. You have to have a vision, and you and your team members and your followers must be able to carry it along so that you can leave your organization better than you met it. Thank you, everyone. Here is my the links. You can reach out to me at chnwaobia@gmail.com, or my cell phone number 951-286-8537. Thank you.